High Definition brought to you by Fort Wayne Toyota Southwest in the 1469 Auto Mall.
Rain, rain, and more rain. Will we ever see a break? Chris has some answers for us. Plus, an extremely just wild night in Boston. It's led already to the killing, perhaps, of one of the men federal investigators have been looking for in the Marathon bombings. Good morning to you. I'm Linda Jackson. Eric Olson's working the night shift tonight, so I'm flying solo. Chris Daniels, though, is with me, taking a look at our local story of the day. Definitely lots and lots of water out there.
There is many places picked up 2 inches of rain during the last 24 hours, and that has caused some flooding issues. Yeah. We'll be talking more about that as the morning goes along.
All right, Chris, thanks for everything. I know you're on top of everything. Well, this steady rain continues to fall, and it is our top story. We do have some major breaking news out of Boston, but first, let's get to the area flooding for you. While you were sleeping, Mother Nature turned on those waterworks, didn't she? This is video from last night. As Chris just mentioned, a good 2 inches or so of rain falling already. It is moving out of the area, but Allen County Highway Department officials have been receiving several calls about standing water on streets and roads all over the area. Now, here are some of the areas, the ones we've heard about, that you want to avoid. The intersection of Homestead Road and Branning closed. A car actually got stuck there last night. Now, areas with high water reported include Bass Road west of Yellow River, Johnson south of Carroll, DuPont Road east of Johnson, the intersection of Leesburg and Cromer, Leesburg and Flaw, spots along Carroll Road, and spots of the Airport Expressway and the intersection as well of Aboit Center and Hamilton. Now, dispatchers tell us these roads are passable at times, depending on perhaps what you drive, but you're definitely urged to use a lot of caution. Check things out first before you go through high water. Never really do that, ever. And you may want to avoid those roads altogether. Now, we do have area breaking news for you. The high water has become a real problem for residents, it seems, of the Stony Creek Mobile Home Park. That's in Zanesville in Wells County. It's located at 11511 North, 300 West. We do understand all residents there began being evacuated around 1:30 this morning, and the water rescue continues at this hour. Everybody is fine, we're told. We have a crew headed to the scene. Quite, though, the inconvenience, as you can imagine, this morning. Well, we will soon learn more about the fatal shooting of a shirtless man by a police officer in Salina, Ohio. There will be a press conference at the Mercer County, Ohio Sheriff's headquarters this morning. That shooting happened earlier this month. Now, reportedly, it involved an officer gunning down 39-year-old Robert Hensley. Hensley was allegedly walking around shirtless, waving a handgun in the air. The officer, Andy Regadance, has reportedly been placed on administrative leave. That happened in early January by the Salina Safety Service Director, citing behavioral issues. Jeff Newmeyer will be at today's conference. We'll have much more for you at noon. And new overnight, more violence in the Boston area, leading to the capture of one of the Boston Marathon bombing suspects, it seems, in Watertown, Massachusetts, just a few miles away from downtown Boston. Witnesses report hearing several explosions and gunfire. Take a look at these pictures. Reports say 3 subjects in a stolen car led police to that small suburb. Then they reportedly stopped. That's when they exchanged gunfire with authorities. The suspects allegedly had improvised explosives on their body, and some were used in the shootout. Now, police on the scene were urging everyone in the area to turn off their cell phones for fear of triggering more explosions. These are pictures of the suspects released by the FBI yesterday. Now, authorities just reported one of the suspects was killed in that firefight and ID'd, definitely, we understand now, as one of the 2 bombing suspects from the Boston Marathon incident. The other remains on the loose this morning, considered armed and quite dangerous. Now, last night, a police officer was fatally shot on the campus of MIT. Cambridge police say the officer was responding to reports of a disturbance when he was shot several times. Officials have not made an arrest in this case. It is not clear if the 2 incidents are related. Well, before these new developments that just broke came down, here's what investigators were dealing with all day yesterday. I don't know if you saw that news conference. The release of the pictures of those 2 suspects. ABC's Preeti Arla filed this report.
The FBI thinks these are the faces of terror.
Arla, ABC News, Washington.
Investigators in Boston have been making major breakthroughs thanks in large part to security cameras. But when is the use of those cameras crossing the line? Allen County Department of Homeland Security officials say while it isn't something done around here from a government standpoint, many businesses are doing it for their own protection.
Government's here to serve the individual citizen, so it's the individual citizen that gets to decide, that should be deciding and leading that discussion as it relates to this subject matter. What's appropriate, what's reasonable, what's that reasonable expectation of privacy, and as a community, we should always be in the driver's seat of that decision.
Byer doesn't see Fort Wayne needing cameras to watch over everything beyond what they already do for businesses. Well, West Texas residents are trying to recover after that devastating explosion leveled a portion of their town. Officials are not certain how many are dead or missing at this point. They estimate 5 to 15 may be dead, 150 plus injured. ABC's Brandy Hitt has those details.
Crumbled homes and buildings blown to pieces.
In West Texas, Brandy Hitt, ABC News.
Well, in the wake of the Texas explosion and Boston bombings, a local police commander shares how past experiences as a first responder changed his life forever. Allen County Chief Deputy Dave Gladio knows firsthand that firefighters, paramedics, and police who worked the marathon bombings in Boston will struggle with feelings of anger and other emotions. In 1992, it's what he all felt when he hustled to a shooting call and found the bodies of 2 young boys. They'd been killed by their father. He also recalls listening to Michael Plumador recount how he murdered 9-year-old Aliana Lemon.
That takes a toll on you. It really does. Trust me, there's a lot of guys went home that night and cried their eyes out. And I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, you know, sure I did. On several of the assignments that I've been involved in. You have to. We're human beings.
Gladio says he sought treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder following the murders of the little boys back in 1992. Well, in Washington, the so-called Gang of 8 senators formally unveiled a comprehensive immigration reform bill yesterday. It's designed to secure the border, allow new high and low-skilled workers into the country while requiring employers to verify their legal status and place 11 million undocumented immigrants on a pathway to citizenship. Architects are calling the bill a chance for millions of people to come out of the shadows and help strengthen our economy. Opponents, though, say the bill offers undocumented immigrants amnesty. It is 5:11 on this Friday morning. We're glad you're with us. Chris Daniels is in next with that very important Pinpoint Viper HD forecast. He's going to let us know when this rain will finally move out. That will be welcome, won't it?
High Definition brought to you by Fort Wayne Toyota Southwest in the 1469 Auto Mall.
We have picked ourselves up. We have fought our way back.
And I pray that the president will be successful in guiding our nation.
Well, it is all over. The president will have 4 more years in the White House. We'll take a look at how he was able to get to 270 and beyond.
Plus, shockingly tight races for governor and U.S. Senate in the Hoosier State. We'll hear from the winners.
And surprises across the area, the results from races in and around our viewing area here in Northeast Indiana. And good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Eric Olson.
I'm Linda Jackson. Chris Daniels is here to tell us what's happening with today's weather, and really not a bad drive into work this morning at all.
The vote is in, Chris. The vote is in.
Yesterday was a really pretty day to get out and vote, wasn't it? In your future.
I love it.
Not just our age. Huh?
Not just your age, but
excellent.
Temperature-wise as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris, very much.
Don't speak for the lady to your right, all right?
Hey, I'm over 60, lady, and I'm just getting started.
Not yet. Yes, you are.
Well, election 2012 is now history. President Obama has been reelected in decisive fashion, winning most of the key battleground states, including Ohio.
That was an interesting night, to say the least. Steve Handelsman was at Obama headquarters during the celebration. He has our early report this morning.
Majority in the Senate got strengthened, but the House stays Republican, and big battles loom just ahead.
I also look forward to sitting down with Governor Romney to talk about where we can work together to move this country forward.
I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Chicago.
And with President Obama's victory last night, Governor Mitt Romney's journey for the presidency came to a close, and he graciously conceded the long-fought election to the president.
I have just called President Obama to congratulate him on his victory. His supporters and his campaign also deserve congratulations. I wish all of them well, but particularly the President, the First Lady, and their daughters. This is a time of great challenges for America, and I pray that the President will be successful in guiding our nation.
Well, here in Indiana, Richard Lugar's U.S. Senate seat is now back in the hands of Democrats for the first time in more than a generation. And Jeff Newmeyer was in Indianapolis election night. He reports now on the Senate race and the Indiana governor's race.
I'm not going there as one party senator or the other party senator. I'm going there as your senator to work for your family.
It was by no means a blowout win, but Democrat Congressman Joe Donnelly could care less. In Indianapolis, I'm Jeff Newmeyer reporting.
Well, Indiana governor and Senate were just two of many seats in play yesterday. Here's a quick look at the results of some of those races. We begin with a surprise in the race for state school superintendent, where Democrat Glenda Ritz unseated incumbent Tony Bennett. Experts are saying heavy support from teachers' unions may have pushed her over the top. In the race for Attorney General, Republican Greg Zeller reclaims his seat, taking a decisive victory over Democratic challenger Kay Fleming. And Marlin Stutzman also defended his seat as the District 3 representative in Congress. He defeated challenger Kevin Boyd by a commanding 34 percentage points.
And in a statewide question, State Supreme Court Justice Stephen David is retained despite his controversial decision on warrantless speeches.
And in another controversial race, Republican County Commissioner Tom Wall is reelected. He was recently indicted by a grand jury on 7 misdemeanor charges of battery.
Well, in the state representative race in District 85, history was made. Republican Phyllis Pond retained her seat, becoming the longest-serving House Republican. She was first elected back in 1978. We're going to hear from her, by the way, in just a little bit.
And in another surprising result, after 20 years in the State House, Fort Wayne's own Win Moses lost his seat to Republican challenger Martin Carbaugh.
Well, one of the biggest upsets as well of the night did come in that David and Goliath situation. Here is Corinne Rose from the Allen County Republican Celebration to explain.
Here at the Allen County Republican Party's election night headquarters, there was plenty of reason to celebrate. With the firm control of the Indiana State Senate and more seats gained in the Indiana House, Republicans were going to be celebrating the night away. With the Allen County Republican Party on this election night, I'm Corinne Rose.
Local Democrats celebrated major national wins, but lost on the local level, including the race between Moses and Carbaugh. Max Resnick was at the Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 166 last night and has this report.
Here at the local Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 166, certainly a night of highs and lows for the Democrats. The Democrats right now celebrating what NBC is projecting to be the re-election of President Barack Obama. Democrats say on the local level that there is certainly a lot that they can work on, but on the national level, all they can do tonight is celebrate. In Fort Wayne, I'm Max Resnick.
Boy, it was an exciting night and really something for everyone to celebrate.
I think so, and some things that were unexpected, but also, you know, as with any election night, things that were expected. So
and that's what it's all. And it's interesting how little the money in the national races played a part. A lot of money was poured into several races where it just did not make a difference, and that's sort of heartening.
Yeah, it makes you kind of look back and think, do I still feel the same way I did about that money? Do I still feel the way I used to, maybe about polls? And I think a lot of Americans are reflecting big time right now. So,
speaking of reflecting big time,
Chris Daniels is next with the forecast on this post-election day 2012. It's 5:11 on this Wednesday morning as we take a live look at downtown Fort Wayne. Hopefully a good day on tap. We'll find out.